Before I came into MFP, I experienced a hamstring avulsion, so playing cricket. I was wicket keeping, performing just your typical run out, a movement I do 1,000 times in a season. And yeah, I ruptured my hammy, had surgery, and yeah, that was obviously a really challenging period mentally. And I suppose the reason I came to MFP was I was told by my brother, ring up Mitch Greaves, he's the guy. So I think I sent Mitch a text and said, hey, I've had this injury, I'm at home in bed at the moment, what do I do? I had no idea what the steps were forward. 10 minutes later, Mitch called me and he pretty much articulated a really clear pathway back, a sequential rehab process that was entirely new to me. I had no idea about rehab, I'd never really had any significant real injury that was, a detriment to my cricket. And at that point, and still am pursuing that elite level, so yeah. Probably there's two things, the elite environment and the positivity that comes with it. So being an elite facility, obviously you're surrounded by professionals. They know what they're talking about. I'm a cricketer, I play cricket. I know the skills I need to work on at the nets, but I don't know the areas within the gym that I need to do to improve physically, in particular the rehab side of things. So having those coaches around you to guide you in a structured environment that's safe, that's a big one. Secondly, it's a positive environment. So being around other female athletes, whether at a young level or older level, I think is a big one. You can't be what you can't see. So being in a space where it's positive, you come in, you see other people here working hard at their sport in the gym, it's really important to have that success. And I don't think you can cultivate it otherwise. So that's something that's really beneficial about training at MFP. The biggest challenge, I think, during my training with MFP was, I think, learning the process to return to sport. I think in my mind, I thought, okay, if I follow this plan that Mitch has set out, I'll be back playing cricket within 6 to 8 months. And I think Mitch understood early on, he said to me that you're going to have to adapt. That's not always the way back to sport. And I think the biggest challenge for me was when the season rolled around. I wasn't moving the way I used to, and that was okay. But I think understanding that I had to keep rehabbing and working on those processes, particular to wicket keeping in cricket, so squatting down, putting a lot of strain on my hammies. That was a big one. We worked through that season really well. I think Mitch took me through how to deload, how to recover, the individual sort of exercises that I needed to focus on. And that season was a big learning one, learning about what movements were best for my body. And now, 18 months down the track, I'm probably better placed than I was to begin with. So I think trusting in the process and understanding that, there's no quick fix. There are going to be some setbacks, and that's okay, because at the end of the day, I'm in a better place now. So I wouldn't really change anything, although it was challenging at the time, understanding that you can't have quick turnarounds with recovery, but I think I'm feeling my best self than before the injury now. So yeah, it speaks for itself. I'd recommend MFP to, firstly, young female athletes aspiring at the lower level. I think looking back at my own progression, had I have come to MFP earlier, I would have been better placed. But in saying that, I am here now, and I know my success comes back to the hours spent at MFP cultivating in areas that I wouldn't have otherwise focused on. And that's a big point of difference to my game in my cricket anyway. I'd recommend MFP to anyone recovering from injury who doesn't know what to do, or even if you do know what to do, sometimes it's best to hand it over to professionals and take their guidance back, because you need to derive your energy on yourself, and if someone's guiding you, you're going to be keeping all that energy in and you only get better and better. So I think that's probably, the two people I'd recommend most MFP to.